call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's mission is to bring the understanding, tools, and discipline and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. The Dalai Lama. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Remember the word want. Twin flames. And I want everybody to turn on their cameras, please, if you're awake. And it's really important because the more you connect with me, the higher I can go. If you're disconnected from me by not having your cameras on, I can't go as high as I want to, and you want me to. So it's all up to you guys. Okay? Twin flames. Let's consider for a moment the lifetime that we're in right now. This is it. This is the end of the old way. So could you consider that whoever you're with in a relationship right now is your twin flame? The ones that give you the most work, the ones that you get so crazy angry with or frustrated with, the one that makes you feel like running 100 miles away from them. Think about it. Who in your life is causing that or has caused that? We all have people in our life that does that to us. Could that be the twin flame? Do not run from the ones you have the most difficulty with, because if that is your twin flame, you really want to work through everything. They not only know where every button is to push, they know what you're thinking and feeling, even if they don't communicate that to you. So you think about that. And I just recently realized my Charlie is my twin flame. As scary as that is, it's true. It's true. If anybody could bunch the lights out of me, make me crazy, make me want to just go nuts because of his behavior or how he interacted or can't interact with me, I realized that is what I saw years ago. Bella Salerno had an activity at her house in Woodstock, and there was a couple there that said they were twin flames, and we discovered that they were. They literally were almost fist fighting every single minute, and they wanted to understand if that was true, that they are twin flames, then why are they wanting to kill each other? It's because that's how much work it takes for some of us to let go of our past. That's the mission, that is the contract that we have with that person. Now, without telling me, just think for a few minutes of who's in your life now that drives you crazy, that makes you angry and frustrated, and yet you love them so much you don't know what to do with it. Just think about it. For some, it's your spouse. For some, it's a friend. Or someone else that comes along in your life and is staying in your life, as difficult as the relationship may be. When I discovered this, and it just happened after I came back from the retreat, I was floored. I looked at him differently. And he kept asking me, what? Why are you staring at me like that? I said, we both have green eyes. He goes, oh, is that something new? We both had green eyes our whole life. We've been together since I was a teenager. But I'm looking at him differently. And when he drives me nuts, I don't say anything. And I go, there I am. Now you can do this with people in your life, and you should be with anybody that pushes your buttons. Anybody. You don't have to wait for your twin flame to come along, I assure you. This is the grace you give yourself. You work on yourself now while you're still in this body, before you decide to end it all and go on your way, if that's your choice. Or you'll be staying and transforming into a light body without doing it the regular way. That's all your choice. Twin flames are very intense. A lot of people wrote to me and asked me over the months and even years now, what does that mean? Do I have to find my twin flame? Do I have to work with them to finish? No. Because in other lifetimes, you might have been together from birth, a family member, or you were married to them many times and did a lot of work together. Or in this lifetime, a very special one, you called in the big guns because it's time. It's time to finish up. So before you think about running away from that tough customer of yours, make sure that you work on yourself and get it done. Let go of everything that you hate in that other person. And I mean the word hate. That's how strong the emotions are. Get it out of you. You're just seeing a mirror of yourself, whether it's male or female. Now is the time. For others, it's going to be after you finish your work. And then you'll be able to come together. On what plane? Don't know. There's no rules like that. Because as Dolores said, it transcends physical life. You can come together on any plane. It would be really nice if it could be on the 5th, 6th, or 7th, because we'll be in a whole different state of mind. But you still have to empty your past. Anything and everything that still troubles you, scares you, makes you feel less than, where your tolerance level is 0 to -10 with that person. That's the very person you want to work with until you don't feel that way anymore. We were designed in a magnificent form, our soul bodies. And that really is who we are. That's the eternal body. And what that eternal body needs to go through is to collect itself completely from all of the different experiences that it's been through, collect itself back into wholeness, to experience life from every single angle until there is nothing but wisdom, nothing but beauty, nothing but light, love, and truth, the great I Ams. So who is it in your life that drives you? See it as part of yourself and want to fix it in you. And what you'll see is that person will transform before you, and the problems from before will no longer exist. Because when you have contracts with other people, whether it's your twin flame or just other people, wives and children, you've come together to work. You have contracts to help each other to grow and to use that mirror to work through your stuff. The grace that you give yourself is by cleaning that up. Anything that comes up. You'd be surprised when you're sitting quietly how a thought will come up from God only knows when. And you say to yourself, what was that? Why was I thinking that? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's because it needed for you to address it. There's something about it, a message from your subconscious and from your higher self that says it's time to address this. Clean it up, let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive the other person. Forgive the situation, whatever it is for you. What do you think creates a master? A master lives in a dimension like we do right now and no longer is trapped by it in any way. Not afraid, not angry. Every experience that comes to you, you deal with it. You don't dwell on it and just keep living it and wrapping it around your head till you feel like you can't stand thinking about it anymore. That's not why it comes up. It comes up to leave you. It comes up so that you can address it and release it forever. When you run away from it, it delays the work. When you ignore it or make believe it's them and not you, you delay it. It won't go away. You have to let it go. There is no situation anywhere or with anything that isn't your responsibility, even though it looks like it's everybody else and what other people are doing. It's all up to us, whether we're living alone or not, whether we have lots of friends or one. It's time to take this and really run with it. Not run away, run towards it and work through it. They don't have to change. That's their job, to do what they're doing. Whatever it is, you change it in you, and then the dynamics change in the relationship because you don't need what you were getting anymore. It's done. That's how you know. People ask me all the time, well, how do I know I healed it? You're not going to be dealing with it anymore. Sometimes it takes quite a few hits before we get it to the point of the cause within us, the button. Until that button is gone, we'll still have events like that, but it won't hurt like it did. It won't feel the same. The punch will be lighter because you'll have more light in there and less of the button. You all know this stuff. We're just reminding each other so we can get done with this. We want to move on. Is there anyone here that doesn't want to move on? Raise your hand. Because if you don't want to move on, learning all of this, what good is it for you? You have to actually work it. Have to work it. You have to realize that nobody's going to fix you. You can beg God all you want to heal you, but this is up to us. All it is letting go of the past that we took on. We believed, we made our laws accordingly. That's what our brain does to us. We think it. But when we start feeling our life, that's when everything changes. Because you can't fool your feelings. They are what they are. You can fool yourself if you think something and convince yourself that it's this or that or the other thing, but you can't deny your feelings. It's literally impossible, to tell you the truth, because it will gnaw away at you until you deal with it. So for all of you that are in relationships that are really tough and rough, start looking at them as if they have the actual code for you to heal yourself. It isn't them. It isn't them. If I could have run away a long, long time ago, I'm up to 50 something years now, I would have, because I didn't want to deal with the feelings that I had, the anger, the resentment, the fear, the abandonment, the fibs, which were really lies. I didn't want it, but I thought it was him. I didn't know it was me. Do you want to know why I can look this peaceful? Dealing with all the things that I deal with my body? It's because I know the truth. I know that I'm my soul, and that's what I work on. My body, I'm chugging along, but my soul is what I worked on. I want to be free. Free from the pain, free from the suffering, from the fear, from the abandonment issues, from the loneliness. You will never feel lonely, not because of a twin flame, but because you made peace within you. Balance and harmony is restored between all your bodies, and you can operate no matter what's happening. You can operate in its fullness, in peace, as a blessing. You start living the life of a master. You don't walk around looking different. You don't make believe you're something really special. You just be you. Be the joy that you are. Be the love that you are. I was talking to a man today, and he was telling me of the horrible things that happened to him. And I was telling him that there's a place in heaven for him, for his kindness and goodness, no matter what anybody did to him. And I started to cry, and he didn't know what to do. I can't hide my love. I can't hide my caring. I've become an emotional heart walking around. And that's okay. Because when you feel somebody that suffered, you know you suffered too. And you know what they're going through. So whatever you can do to say the right thing, to give them hope, that is a gift back to you. Because every blessing that you put out there comes back to the sender. Every bit of light that you send to someone to support them comes back to you. Everything is circular, so nothing's lost. And I love it when it comes back. I realize those that I send a real big burst of light to, because it almost knocks me out of my chair. And I know who I just love gently, because it would have scared them if I loved them that much. Twin flames. It's a rough road, I will tell you. But if you stick with it, no matter how tough it seems, and stop saying to yourself, it's them, it's them, it's them, and take it back to you. Take it back to you. Realize that everything that happens is because of you. You wrote the script. You caused it to happen. The good stuff, absolutely. And some things that are not so considered good. The joy and blessings and grace doesn't come from outside you. You give it to yourself. Only you can do that. We think we need a saint to give us grace. They'll help you with light, encourage you, but you give it to yourself. So if you're with your twin flame and it's a tough ride, look at it a little differently. Look at it as a great gift to finish up here. Because if it wasn't that my Charlie was that strong, that he could do this for me, hold his ground in the face of me, I'm like a storm moving through the house with all this energy that I have. I can knock him over without even touching him with my energy when I'm excited or when I'm on a mission or whatever it may be. And so are you. So are you. So you look at your significant other or a friend or someone in your life that is difficult to be with, but you absolutely love them, and work with it. Use them as your mirror. It will be an accelerated path. Believe me. It's like being on a sacred journey where everything is speeded up and magnified and intensified because you're with the very one that could do the job to knock you into your senses, so to speak, your sensory system, where you feel their punch, you feel what they say. You don't just hear it, you feel it. I know you guys that have this in your life right now. So you be working on this, because I'm telling you, you just don't know. It could be a girl and you're a girl. It could be a guy and you're a girl, or a guy and a guy. Somebody asked me if it could be their pet. I'm not going to answer that question because I've never had any guidance on that. I never thought to ask that. Yep, Janice showed up because that would be her question. Yeah. So look at the people in your life and use every single one of them as a mirror for you. It doesn't matter who it is. But I'm telling you, the toughest ones to live with or to be with, those are the ones that really have the power equal to yours. Those are the ones that can help you. Hi, Yavi. I'm telling you right now, we're getting so close to some incredible, I can't even describe it. It makes my heart pound when I think about it, what's happening, the shifting that's going on, the beings that are entering into the atmosphere, the way things are changing. And I mean out there. It is out there, and people are hearing this that never heard this stuff before. The world is changing because of you. Because of you. Because you love God. Because you serve God. because you want to know what to do to help. This is the blessing that you are. And let us say that those in our life that are the toughest ones to deal with, that can annoy you in 3.5 seconds, pay attention. What button are they pushing in you? Ask yourself. Be absolutely cognizant of how you feel. Is it annoyance? Is it impatience? Is it fear? Is it anger? What feeling comes up? You are so powerful that it takes a mighty punch, verbally, emotionally, in every way, to get you to really feel it, because you're so powerful. You're giving off so much energy. Open yourself up and be vulnerable. Open your heart. There's nothing to be afraid of. All that will happen is you'll start feeling on a deeper level. Like I said, I broke the doors off somehow, and I can't close my heart. And sometimes it's very painful. Sunday, it was very painful. I was with a woman who was in a state of hysteria, screaming on the top of her lungs about her experience. And it was hitting me with such force that I literally was getting ill. I expanded my energy field, but boy, was she powerful. She expanded hers. She was just in such a state of agitation at what had happened to her. And she's a teacher. And what they're doing to the children is what she was screaming at me. They literally fired her for doing the right thing. And so I sat with it to give her as much help with light as I could. But it was very painful because I can't shut down. And we were in close proximity. You can imagine, it's like somebody with a flame blower, a flame thing, and you're sitting there and it's hitting you. Yeah. You be strong. You be strong and do your work so that you do not have to go through any more of the 3D drama. Don't buy into it. It's really very confusing right now because you don't know who's telling you the truth and who's lying. And everybody's asking questions because they don't know which direction to go. And you just sit there and you pray and you bless and you send light into all of it. Don't get attached to any one thing because that will drag you down. I know there's certain people here that have certain interests that are very strongly attached to it because they are connected in some way or form or experienced something that was very painful. Don't let it live your life. You live your life. If I can deal with 5 different physical, very serious situations in my body and not let it overwhelm me, you can too. You can too. To be the light in the world is to be in service. And if you focus on that, it's your greatest joy. Your greatest joy. To give is the greatest joy. And when you give, you receive back the same level of blessings that you give. It's a no-lose situation. Everything comes full circle. You don't do it for that reason, but what a blessing that it comes back. So I look forward to your questions about twin flames and even others in your life. I wouldn't worry about whether they are your twin flame or you're with people that are not, because everyone's your mirror. Use them well. Use them in a way that you're going to heal yourself with them. They will heal too, because they'll no longer have to show you what it is that they did before that was painful. Remember that. So you free them from that job. They can do it to others, or they'll be done too. When you do the full circle with the process, you send so much light to them, you literally lift them out of that vibration. You'll lift them up in frequency with you. So that would be a really, really nice gift to do. Okay, let me see what time it is. Oh, pretty good, Barbara. All right. Twin flames. Like I was saying, it's so very important that you look at everybody as potentially your twin flame. Look at them, feel them, interact with them, and master yourself. Let them push the buttons. Don't try to make believe it's not happening. Be honest with yourself. Be willing to feel on the deepest levels of your being. Leave your heart wide open, because that's where you're going to feel the deepest. Everything that you need to know is in your divine mind and your sacred heart. The twin flame that is all yours and you're all theirs, and eventually you will merge, bringing everything that both of you experienced to the one soul that's whole and complete. Whatever plane it happens on, how many times you've come together and left. Don't dwell on it. Don't, for heaven's sakes, don't say such a thing to someone. It might freak them out. But like I said before, you can say there in many ways you complete me. You help me so much to know me. And we can say that sarcastically, or we can say that with great love. All of you have the potential to finish up. You do. Use the people that are with you to do so. Because when you try to do for yourself, you're in your head and you're thinking about all the things you want to do, all the accomplishments you want to finish. But when you're in your feeling worlds, that's when you get someplace. It's going to interrupt the thinking and bring you into your heart in the feeling world, so that you can say, you know what? I really feel upset right now. That person I was just with is so, whatever you say. And that's inside you as energy. It's held either in the body, the organs, the fields. You don't have to figure any of this out. It just is happening naturally. Our bodies are working with our fields. Our fields are working with our higher self and our body. And there's the emotional body, the mental body, the etheric double, which is our ghost, and our physical body. They're all working, but they're not necessarily working in harmony and balance. That's what we're trying to do, get ourselves back into that state. When you do the ohms for, I think it was 30 minutes, you're literally lifting out of your body. You're not in your physical body fully. You've lifted up, you've experienced a quiet like you don't usually have until you've mastered 3D. The peace that passes understanding is yours for that time, and you are not aging during that period of time. What a gift you give to yourself. It's not just the oming. to learn to sit in silence, to be still and not thinking about what you want to do or you're going to do or what you're going to make for dinner. You just be, practice just being. And when you're out in the world, again, whoever you interact with in any way or form, whoever attracts your attention to them or hears something said, use it. Use it by feeling the impact of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did it scare you? Did it make you feel uncomfortable? Did it bring up something in you of a like energy? Everything is energy. It doesn't have to be exactly the same in the way that it's produced or given to you. It's your time. It's your time now. No matter what you're doing, if you're working, it's still your spiritual experience. You can sit there for a moment and just feel what just happened. Come out of a meeting and know what you were feeling. The discomfort, the agitation, or the peace. And when you can be peaceful wherever you are, because it isn't where you are, it's what's going on inside you. And you have peace inside you. You could be in the middle of 4th Avenue in the city with traffic, horns beeping, people running on the sidewalks, and you just breathe. You just stand there and breathe. Because there's nothing to shake you. The only thing that shakes you is inside. And when something from outside you punches one of your buttons, that's when you really know, I've got work to do. If I'm out of my peace, my state of peace, I have work to do. I'm not going to go there and tell somebody else they got to change. They got to be different. They got to do things different. They're not here for that. They have a part to play in your life. They want you to see that part of you, the wounded male or the wounded female. Or they're there to bring you the peace that other people can't bring you. You see? Or they can do both. So twin flame, very wonderful, powerful situation to be in, to be with them. However, like I said, look at everybody as if they could be. What if they are? There'd be no way for you to know. There's people out there that can excite you in anger just as easily as your twin flame. So let's not dwell on it. I know it was a question that everybody had at one time or another, and I wanted that to be given to you as clearly as possible. Now we go on with our life. It's just like with our crystals and other things that we have in our life to help us to feel the power of the gemstones. Yeah, that's all wonderful, and it's very blessed. Especially Greg Van Ness had brought on a note about on Signal about the quartz crystal is the highest frequency crystal in the sense that it moves energy all over the place. It's like connecting points. And that's why when we were going on these trips, we were bringing quartz crystals with us to bury to do the crystal grids, because they would communicate with each other. And they did. They did. But you know what? It helps you and it's beautiful and comforting. But you have work to do that is inside you. You can do it all inside you. You have the power to do it. All you need is the will to do it. Thy will be done. You're talking to your higher self. You're talking to the God that lives inside you as energy, as life force. Thy will be done. the divine will. And that is a message that I want to give about what the Dalai Lama said. Be glad when it's your want that might be missed, because it's your needs that needs to be met, not necessarily your wants. Until you've gotten to the point where you align yourself with the divine in you, and your needs and your wants are aligned with each other. You see, that's why he said that, because we want and we want and we want. We talk about our wants all the time, but what do we really need? That's what comes from the higher ups, our higher self and the universe. That's what they support us with, what we really need. All we need is the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, the love of ourselves first, so that we can feel the love of others in us. This is why we're here. This is what we need. All else is an addition to. And when we are concentrating on our needs more than our wants, that's when our needs and our wants will align. It's okay to have all the rest, you see, because we're really working on our needs. I know you all know what I'm saying. Those of us that are a little heady and we are in our heads a lot, thinking, please try to work on that. Just sit there and breathe and feel. Ask your higher self to help you to feel on deeper levels. Then you won't want to think, only when you have to. Sometimes when Debbie Russo and I are working on the computer and we have to do 3D mundane stuff, the two of us are all over the place trying to get our heads down into that 3D consciousness just long enough to do what we have to do. If you have days like that, I understand. Believe me, I understand. Be kind to yourself, and on those days, try to lighten up as much as the load in the 3D world as you can, without, of course, not doing what your job is or whatever. Those of you that are retired and you are home and you have the freedom and the time to do this, spend time with you, just with you, feeling everything you need to feel. Crazy stuff's going to come up from the past. And when you're with your twin flame, and those that were on this call, there are those that are, it is very, very important for you to work it out. Work it out. Because you can't run away from yourself. It's as simple as that. You can't. You're always going to bring you with you. You'll find it in another person, or it'll just come up and haunt you because you're going to feel it. Living consciously makes us aware of all this. This is why we're here, to finish up, to master 3D and not let it in any way enter into us. We're not part of this mess down here, other than what we contributed to it. And that's what our karmic tie was, to clean that up. Now we're here just to work the light. We're at that point. We're not adding to the problems. And if we do, we need to clean that up too. Living consciously makes us responsible for our actions and what we say, what we do. So with all of my love, I'm going to close here. I pretty much talked myself out before we did this. But I think you got the hang of what our conversation of the evening was. The twin soul option is written into the plan, the grand plan. And it will happen, and it has happened, and it will happen again until you merge. If it's someone you're with now, work on it till you merge. It's going to be amazing. Thank you. God bless you.
We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency ever higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.
Amen.